is even greater than you. Very, very important we understand it. Why we want to talk about image in self-determination, well, I really want us to have a broader perspective, a larger perspective into understanding this very indisputable fact. Everything you said for yourself at individuals level, at community level, at corporate level, in any level, immediately it is go. You must, as a matter of fact, understudy the features, the characteristics needed for the successful delivering of those goals. No one who has ever attained success in life that first of all understudy the path of success he wants to dive into. As a matter of fact, whatever you approach with a careless attitude, laissez-faire attitude, is bound to fail. Whatever. It's not exclusive to anything. Anything you configure your mindset that you can do it anyhow. You can do anyhow you want. It doesn't matter. Anything, it doesn't matter. It's bound to fail. It is scientifically proven. It is scientifically proven. It is timely defined. So you don't say it's what Chika Austin said. No, I'm telling you something that people have researched on. People have heavily researched on it. And today we are talking about the image in self-determination. You see, sometimes I pity some of us. I must tell you this. I pity some of us who think, I always say this, who think that the world will condescend to their level. I pity some of us who have so much belief, who have this self-conviction that the global system, that the dynamics of the world will be so condescended to their level. I pity you. As I speak to you now, the world is advancedly researching. As we talk now, as you're listening to me, the world is in, hybrid projection. The world is developing. The world is moving. The world is journeying. The world has no business waiting for you. You can think whatever you want to think. You can believe whatever you want to believe. You can entertain yourself as much as you want to entertain yourself. One thing that cannot be relegated is that the global system remains what it is, not what you think. Not what you think, it is what it is. Very, very important. Because, some of us always have this mindset that things should walk the way, especially as regards to the Biafran struggle, that the things should walk the way we think it. No, you must have the ability. You must have the courage. You must have the wisdom. You must fortify yourself with knowledge to manipulate advantageously the global system. Not waiting the global system to come to your level. You must understand that. If you don't want to appreciate it, if you don't want to understand it, if you don't want to acknowledge that, events that will play will teach you in a painful way. So we are talking about the image in self-determination. I want to let you understand. You see, today's lesson, I don't really like talking about myself because it is inconsequential. But where need arises for me to give some references based on experiences and all this, you have to oblige me to do that. Now, let me tell us something, because there are things we see, we just smile, we laugh. You see, self-determination, every freedom fighter is a respected fellow. Everyone who stand out and said, I want freedom. I want freedom for my people. I want freedom for these people. I want freedom for that people, is globally respected. Even the oppressor respects such a fellow. I'm going to repeat again. Anyone who has stood on the path of freedom is globally respected. Even the oppressor, one who is oppressing their victims, also have a secret admiration, secret respect for such group of people or such individual. The oppressor might not acknowledge that on open space, as the case may be, which is quite understandable. But the oppressor will do everything possible to corrupt, if possible, criminalize that noble individual or the noble group. So when you are standing out amongst millions of people to say, I want to be an advocate for self-determination, I want to be an advocate for freedom, it is a noble thing. It is a unique journey, a unique choice. Because ordinarily, it's not something anybody can join into the bandwagon. So that's why history is filled. Global monuments, global centers are only built for those who have fought for freedom. If you go to US today, Martin Luther Jr. always have his day. The Memorial Center. In India, you have Gandhi, Muhammad Gandhi. You have a lot of them scattered all over the world. In Africa, you have people like Madiba, commonly known as Nelson Mandela. You have the likes of Jomo Kenyatta. You have so many of them. Till tomorrow, they are strong reference points. They are strong reference points because they distinguished themselves to demand for a cause that is not meant for common people to place the mind on. So that's why everyone who is fighting for freedom must understand that the path at which you are is a very delicate and dicey path. Because the oppressor will do everything to, talk you into corruption, get you mesmerized, destroy your image, push you to the point of in recovery state. That's why freedom fighting is not for vituperations. It's not something you just, open your mouth and said, I want to. It's something that the day you identify yourself to say, oh, I'm going to subscribe to this idea, you must be extremely careful. Not careful in words only, careful in deeds. secret and open. Your secret and open life must be approached with all manners of carefulness. Because every shady things you think you're doing in secret, it's only secret to people at your level. It's not secret to the oppressor, because the oppressor has the resources to know where you are, what you're doing at every defined time. This is the mindset we should be conscious of. That is the mindset we should be conscious. Because we so much underestimated the global reality. And that's why most times we look foolish. Even before the oppressors, sometimes we look foolish. Because when they look at us and our perceptions, our understanding to realism, it is really disgusting. It is really disgusting. The way we interpret and process data is really shocking. To use the most euphemized language. So, it's not just enough to say you're a freedom fighter. It's not just enough for you to say, oh, I want to request for freedom of myself and my people. It's not just enough. Someone made a powerful statement. I think it's a biblical statement. He said, who is that want to build a castle that will not first of all sit down and take the cost? Calculate the cost. In the business world, it is called feasibility studies. Yeah, feasibility studies. Most of us have not even understood the demise in freedom fighting. And that's why we are easily swept off. Because we have not even asked critical questions. We've not even taken the core feasibility studies, core requirements. We have not intended to acknowledge that this will happen. There is a possibility of this happening. We so much envelop ourselves in illusion, in the world of fantasy, that we always think nothing is impossible. Who are you? Do you understand how the world is designed? Do you understand how the world is designed? So, when we say to ourselves, let us try to be less careless. Let us be wise. Let us study from other people. Some of us will say, no, we are not interested. We want to interpret and process data from our parochial, or should I say colloquial, processing point. And that's why most of you are on this one, they come na water. Because you consciously delink yourself from the pathway of knowledge, from the pathway of wisdom. Now we come back to the journey we are. The image. I told us that I started by building the foundation that self-determination, anyone asking for self-determination is a noble thing. Anyone asking for freedom is a noble thing. It is a noble thing for you to fight, for you to demand, for you to put a request for self-determination, for freedom. It's a noble thing. It is also within the right of the oppressor to do everything possible to criminalize your identity, your image. You see, a man who is asking for freedom is already fighting. He has already activated fight, knowingly or unknowingly to him. Anyone who has started requesting for freedom already, consciously or unconsciously, has activated fight from the oppressor. It is also the right of the oppressor to devise a means to undermine, to destroy that request, especially when the one who is requesting is on the advantage if he leaves. So it is the duty of the oppressor to devise every means to undermine that project. And I told you, there are thousands of means, historically speaking and contemporary speaking, that the oppressors have devised to undermine the quest for freedom. One of those titles is the titles of criminalization, making a noble cause to be infiltrated and reconfigured as a criminal enterprise. It has happened in many places. It has happened in many places. For instance, if you go to Yemen, you will see the Houthis group. What are they fighting for? They are fighting for self-determination in Yemen. And Saudi Arabia knows that if that happens, she cannot have a strong control and influence in Yemen and Yemen resources. What did Saudi did? Saudi did everything to provoke the Houthi people to start blocking the strait. I mean, the transit point where global energy and related resources pass. They provoke them into blocking, restricting global trade, what's it called? Commerce. Provoking them to start disrupting international businesses. And immediately the Houthis saw that. Immediately the Houthis did that in Yemen. What did they do? Saudi and the West started telling the world that we told you that these guys are not fighting for self-determination. We told you they are criminals. You can see what they are doing. They have turned to pirates. They are now pirates, obstructing global trade. And guess what? The sympathy they were enjoying earlier started going down because the oppressor and her allies have provoked them into miscalculating and taking actions that will, rob them global sympathy. As a matter of fact, what helps a freedom fighter is a global sympathy. Global sympathy. Let us note down this. Everything we are doing is to attract global sympathy. That is the essence of everything, the centrality of everything we are doing is summarized in one common term: global attraction of global sympathy and domestic sympathy. No minus, no plus. So the oppressor will do everything humanly possible to destroy your sympathy base locally and internationally. One of those ways they could do that is to force you, put pressure on you, for you to miscalculate and start doing what will destroy your image. Yeah. What will destroy your image. We are not the only people. These titles have been, deployed on different people all over the world who sought for their freedom. Even between the Northern Ireland and the UK, the same titles was also used against the people of Northern Ireland. Go and study about it. Where there is no knowledge, people behave foolishly. It happened between Northern Ireland, so that you will not say it's only happening to third world countries. Permit me to use that word. Although it's a Cold War terminology. But permit me to use it. So don't you say, oh, you quoted Yemen, you quoted Africa, show me. I told you Northern Ireland and UK. It is the same thing UK wanted to do in Falkland Island, between UK and Argentina, over the dragging of Falkland Island. The UK sponsored infiltrators to start threatening commerce ship in Falkland Island. But thank God for the wisdom of the Argentine government. They were able to arrest the situation and make sure that agent provocateurs were not allowed to stoke conflict that will undermine the Argentina legitimate quest. Go and study about it between Falkland Island and UK. It does happen. So, if this is a global concept, global titles that have been used by the oppressor globally, and you are educating one, Chede or Njoko, letting him to understand the reality of time, the demand of the moment. Such a person who have not even read one book, who has not even finished one book as regards to history, politics, and self-determination, you will see him standing someplace and start talking rubbish, probably insulting you. And he refused to understand that wisdom is the principal thing. Now, if you look at the quest for Biafran struggle, most of you always have this mentality that we are dealing with Nigeria. That is how funny it is. That is how terrible it is to some of us. Some of us always have this mindset that we are dealing with Nigeria. No, you are not dealing with Nigeria. Nigeria is a state actor that has allies. So, there are certain allies of hers who also will be advising her on the right approach to undermine the Biafran struggle. Don't joke over that. That is why she's a country. A country might be weak, but she will have a strong allies that will advise her on what to do, how to go about her targets. That is the essence of bilateral agreement, bilateral cooperations. So if we're ignorant of these realities, what you're ignorant at is what will be used against you. Nobody will use what you know to undermine you. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't work that way. Nobody will use where you have a comparative knowledge and strength to undermine you. You can only be undermined through channels and processes you are ignorant of. You are bereft of knowledge on. And that's why we say, for IPOB to be strong, for IPOB to survive, IPOB should do everything humanly possible to institutionalize as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Because whether you like it or not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was screwed. He was worked upon. He was handled very lightly. It's unfortunate to say this, but that is the reality. Either you are open to discussing reality or you keep on wallowing on self-deception. The truth is that he was screwed. Yes. The process at which he was captured, brought to Nigeria, subjected into Nigerian process, shows that he was not even fortified. Either as a result of him playing with available intelligence, or as a result of personal weaknesses. Yes. And certain things people do not understand. Well, you see, just the way Nigeria is, Nigeria gets expertise advice from countries like Turkey, Israel, UK. It might be shocked to you. It might be shocked to you. Some of these countries I mentioned, Nigeria gets a lot of intelligence advices from them. And when some of us want to tell you about how these things work, most of you will even be mocking us that we are talking about geopolitics. But this is what you don't know. It's because of your lack of it that makes you to think in your small world that Kenya and Ethiopia is not volatile. It's because you lack the knowledge of geopolitics. You do not understand how the world functions. Because if you do, your choice of destination must be paramount to you. But when we talk, ignorantly they mock us. That's why we're talking about geopolitics. As if the Biafran quest is a local quest. It's never local. It's never local. It's never local. So, what did they do? We're talking about the image. Who we are, who we project ourselves to be, are very, very important in what we are doing. Projection not only by oral projection, projection in and out matters a lot. All this while IPOB have been projecting this message that she is non-violent. She is non-violent. It is the Nigerian state that is hunting us for no reason. And the world had minuted on this ground. There are global recognitions and the corporations which, based on this very philosophy of the movement, that these guys are non-violent. They are peaceful people. It was on this premise that St. Patrick's Day, IPOB will be invited. It is on this premise that the Catalonians will always invite IPOB. It is on this premise that when IPOB wants to go on a rally on protest, the host country will, grant her permits. It is on this premise. And let me tell you, those level of cooperation, they are all cooperation, no matter the degree, the level. We are haunting the Nigerian state. They were all haunting the Nigerian state. St. Patrick, you will say IPOB. Catalonians rally will say IPOB. When IPOB USA said she wants to do protest or rally in Washington, D.C., they will get permit. In New York, they will get permit. Nigeria was unsettled with such, handshakes. Nigeria was unsettled. And IPOB got all those penetrations on the premise of non-violence. Do you know what? Nigeria and her allies advised themselves that the best thing to do is to destroy this image of non-violence. Image of non-violence. Between 2014, yes, till sometime 2021, you could hear some members of various countries, governments, strongly standing for IPOB, strongly putting advocacy. You hear from Europe, you hear from Asia, you hear from, Americas and all the rest of them. Because of this non-violence. And whether you like it, such is a threat to the Nigerian state. If you look at the state of Israel now, let us go back to regional reference. If you look at the state of Israel now, you find out that you have the PLO, you have the Hamas. You find out that the PLO, which is advancing diplomatic approaches and non-violent approach, seem to have consolidated in West Bank. Seem to have been gaining a lot of global recognitions, including in UN. Then ask yourself, why is Hamas secretly funded? There are records for that, public records, where the state of Israel have funded Hamas secretly. So if we leverage on those records, which are public records, why is it that Israel will fund Hamas, Hamas will create disturbances, and Israel will leverage on those disturbances, destroy Gaza, occupy Gaza, and expand in Gaza? Because a non-violent infiltrator have been used to criminalize the Palestinian question. To criminalize Palestinian question. The same Hamas who told you that she lifted arms, she's fighting because she wants to gain Palestinian independence, have now agreed to disarm and allow foreign entities to come and govern Palestinians. You cannot understand the drama. You can now understand how global politics is filled with advanced manipulations. This is same Hamas that told you that she's doing everything, she's lifting the arm, she lifted the arm because she wants to defend the Palestinians. It's the same Hamas, after collecting millions of dollars from US and Israel now, is not telling you that they are going to disarm and allow an international constituted body to govern Palestine. That is how international politics works. If you do not understand, you'll be screwed and you will remain defenseless. So you're going to have a Gaza governed by foreign constituted body. Then you're going to have a West Bank that is governed by the Palestinians. Who is screwed? It is the Palestinians that were screwed. That was the same tactics that the leadership of this struggle have been doing everything to make sure that the image of this movement is not destroyed. When you see the leadership fighting against Simon Ekpa and his activity, it is targeted as safeguarding the image of this struggle. When you see the leadership putting consistently a disclaimer on the press, distancing Mazi and Simon Ekpa's activity, is because the leadership understands the global politics of image politicking. Image politicking is not by noise making, it's not by church, or you can be screwed and you unconsciously work against yourself. Don't say it cannot happen. It has happened to many people. In fact, it has happened to people who are seeing 24 hours light. How much more you in Nigeria that you only have 4 hours with your phone. The rest is that your battery is low. I'm telling you, it has happened to people who have 24 hours light, who have steady access to internet. They are seeing it happening to other people, yet it played on them. How much more you, who does not even have basic knowledge about global politicking? So that was what the leadership was, since 2021, fighting the politics of image procurement, image saving. Because your image is your everything. Your image is your everything. That's why every country, including US, spends billions of dollars to do what we call PR, public relations. You might say it doesn't matter. It matters. America is still spending billions of dollars running PR all over the world. Israel does the same. Israel is spending billions trying to present a good image of her to every country, including in Arab world, including even amongst the Palestinians. Israel is still running PR. Israel will bomb a building in Gaza, and the next day Israel will also come with food, come with all manners of aid, trying to tell them, we are chasing the terrorists. What we did was not targeted as civilian. It is called PR, image making. And this is something some of us who are stark illiterates, who do not even understand anything, we say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Woto. It's the code. You talk foolishly, don't you know? Well, as a matter of fact, why would I even allow you to dominate the image of the struggle when I know you have nothing to lose? A tout have nothing to lose. If the struggle, if not the fight of the leadership, and the struggle got internationally criminalized, most of these minions shouting water have nothing to lose. What would they lose? They absolutely have nothing to lose. The whole thing we heap on the reasonable ones, the responsible ones, those who understands what global relations is all about. They will heap it on them. And that is what the leadership is doing. Doing everything to make sure that the state-sponsored operation of image destruction does not achieve a success. The leadership was busy putting up disclaimers, putting up press statements, distancing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But you know what? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not even, or should I say, is not even knowledgeable to that level. Yes, facts have shown that he was not knowledgeable to understand the importance of PR. The PR that was conducted for him, which he was against, is the same PR he's now trying to gain now. But it's quite unfortunate. Events have override that stage. The PR people did everything, took risk to make sure he's not entangled. He does not slide into the state conspiracy of destroying his image. It was the same PR that was packaged for him that made the judges in appeal court to grant him winning. It was PR. Because he was presented as someone who is not harmful, a peaceful agitator. Ozekeme was doing it, Ejiofor was doing the same thing. You can't see them talk anyhow. They were very conscious in language, packaging him as someone who cannot even match an ant. And the illiterates around him, all this goof, around him, we are telling him, they are weaklings. Chopunda, and he was screwed. They started telling him, when you come to court, shout. Because they were trying to slide him, destroy his image as somebody who is harmful to the society. That was the project the Secret Service was working on. And he forget to know that image making is everything. How you're being presented matters. If you present a criminal, if you package a criminal as a saint, he can become a president. Do you know where it happened? It's currently happening in Syria. It's currently happening in Syria. The Syrian president was a member of Al-Qaeda. That is the power of PR that the leadership was doing. And some of you thought it was a free project. You don't know that everything starts and ends in mind. It is called the nerve war or war of nerve. In Syria, as I speak to you, the Syrian president was a member of Al-Qaeda. He was seen in camera where people were beheaded. He supervised some of those gruesome killings of civilians. But today, he's the president. Why? America and Israel packaged him. They did a whole lot of PR, public relations for him. Told him to stop wearing the Janjaweed clothes. That he should start wearing suit. Start knotting ties. They packaged the current Syrian president. They told him to stop wearing those garments. That he should start wearing tie. He should start shaving. And they start telling the world that this guy is a good guy. He's a nice guy. America spent billions of dollars running that package. This is what most of you think is a joke. Because you do not understand how the world. You want the world to come to your level. You're a joker. It's not going to happen today, not even tomorrow, not even next tomorrow. America and Israel packaged this guy. Remove clothes of Janjaweed from him. Subjected him into English class. And today, do you know what? He has traveled to Washington, D.C. He has been in Oval Office. He has been in White House. That is the power of image making. Image making. Image making. It is a project of billions of dollars for one's image. Buhari was a dictator. Buhari was a dictator. In 2015, it was the same America who went and picked him, your Chacha Buhari, and started telling Buhari to stop wearing the northern, garment clothing. And they started talking to Buhari to start wearing suits. From a dictator, uneducated fellow, they packaged him to a zero tolerance of corruption. Did you not accept Buhari? Did you not see Buhari dominating the political space? That is the power of image making. Image making. And this was what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was enjoying free. And he felt that those who were offering those services on free, the leadership, the rest of us, even the lawyers. Ozokome will fly to US, conduct a symposium and start talking about Mazi. He thought those who were doing it was easy. As a matter of fact, he thought he was even helping those who were running PR for him. And he forgot to know that it was on still the same good image presentation that made the judges in appeal court to see him as unharmful. Now, when they taught him into shooting himself on the foot by stoking conflict between him and those who are dragging to project it and uphold his image. When they succeeded in creating conflict and these guys left, he started having a sour relationship with the members of the Directorate of State. What did government do? Government advance image destruction on him. Yes. What did the judge say, Omotoshe? He said this man is dangerous to be allowed to flow in the society. Why would the judge say that? Has the judge been close to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The answer is no. Had he visited Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in any capacity? The answer is no. Has Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had any encounter with him? The answer is no. Why would Justice Omotoshe say this man is dangerous to be allowed in the society? It's because of the slandered image carried on his personality by the government of the day. After making sure that him himself destroys his relationship with those who are projecting and protecting his image. And you know what? That image, destruction, and slandering is in advanced stage now. All bloggers are trying to tell us that everything that happened in Olo is as a result of the command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All the bloggers are trying to tell us that the destruction, the pillage. Nobody is mentioning Simon Ekpa, who was on the background of all this evil. They are now relegating Simon Ekpa's name. This is what we call, our people are not, we are not advanced in understanding what psychological warfare is. Most of you think it's just coming online and then sort Chika Austin. Talk as much as you want. As a matter of fact, that's why I don't block you. Well, the reason why I don't block you is that if I block you, it will pain me. I need you to be seeing me, probably to be insulting me more. I'm okay with that. That's why I can block. Not even respond to you harshly, no? Do drop it, then on a video day like this, you come and learn. But what is most important is not to watch you perish. That is not important. It's not going to gain me anything. Neither is it going to gain the motherland anything. Watch you float in your stupidity and die in your stupidity. Add nothing to us as a nation. Neither does it add anything to me. So you have to remain here. After insulting me, after maligning me, at least one day, and by the science of time, you're going to wake up to yourself and say, oh, this guy, even though I cannot boldly acknowledge publicly what this guy is saying, but he did say this. That is the importance of it. So, what am I trying to say? They have now advanced. Because, I look at you when some of you come up and start consoling yourselves that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out soon. Because you're stupid. You are damn stupid. You do not understand the social science. You don't want to understudy the trajectory of events. That is the weakness of your mind. It has nothing to do with humanity. If you watch the government, after convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, sentencing him to life, the same government does not want people to start talking about forgive him now, let him come out. They don't want people to start advocating for political ground to solve the problem. The same government is now projecting all the non-bloggers to focus camera in Olo or Kiwe, Lulu, and all the rest of them. Are they mentioning Simon? But they are not. Carefully understudy the trajectory of events. All they are trying to tell you that every crime that happened in all these places was as a result of instruction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which is not true. Which is not true. Because the government wants to advance the level of destroying his image totally. And that is why the leadership took action of what she did. Because the leadership has spent a whole lot of time, resources to defend this person's image. And, this mentality that they are my boys, they don't have power to help me, rather I have power to help them. It really messed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu up. Yeah, it messed him up. And the leadership, you see, let me tell us something. It's important I say it here because so many of us, I don't understand how you understand IPOB. IPOB is a very wide organization. IPOB is a very wide organization. And IPOB has the resources to pick information wherever, wherever she wants to pick information. One thing most of you do not understand is that the leadership is accessible to a lot of information as a result of the wideness of the wide coverage of IPOB. And that is what the government fears. Government knows that in Brazil now, if IPOB wants to know what is happening in Brazil, she has the network, the human network, that she will just activate it, it flows, and she will get the information, the exact place. The government knows it. Global allies of the Nigerian state know it, and they are also concerned. Because this is the only movement, as I speak to you, that her members speak all the languages on earth. This is the only movement. That is the only movement on earth that her members are speaking all the known languages on earth. So such a movement has a very wide coverage of intelligence gathering, if she understands that. And most of the decisions the leadership have been taking is as a result of her wide network of information sourcing. I pity most of you because mentally, as mentally nothing to write for my back. Because you don't understand the social configuration of this movement. That's why most of you talk. When you talk, we laugh. Because you don't understand the social configuration. This is the only movement on earth that if IPOB wants to spy Mazi, any against us, Mazi's automobile company now, IPOB have members in Mazi's company. If IPOB wants to know what is happening within Coca-Cola factory point, IPOB can smuggle out sensitive image. This is how sophisticated. That is a movement most of you in your stupidity and silly behavior, you're undermining. You are undermining. No country on the surface of earth has such network. Quote me anywhere. That's why Americans will always want to use local agents to advance her cause in another country because she does not have it. This is a movement that have her members having children that looks exactly like various nations of the earth. And you cannot have such configuration. And so many of you will come and think we are talking about individual here. That is all about, most of you will stupidly and shamelessly say, it begins and ends with Mazi and Ndeka. Do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what we're talking about? You do not understand the seriousness of this. This is a movement that has all manners of human potentials, activated and unactivated. Some are just docile and domicile because they cannot trust certain information. Most of you, most of you always think that this journey is a journey of your class or journey of my class. Do you know that in this movement, we have some members of United States FBI officers, CIA officers, a lot of countries' intelligence officers, who are our people, who are their citizens. We have them in this movement. But do you know some of them have sworn not to deploy their intelligence skills on IPOB because of the carelessness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. You might not like it because you cannot have a sophisticated, intelligent agent releasing information to somebody who does not even understand where he's traveling to, who does not care who is around him, who does not even know where he is, who does not even care to profile who is around him. Just because maybe somebody brought money or somebody gossips a lot around him, then the person will not be the person to be around him. Such a person cannot. Such people in IPOB cannot entrust intelligence because there are certain information you trust. If it's not properly managed, the source will be leaked. The source will be leaked. This is how serious. So when you see the leadership shaking everything, getting out all these childish and unserious elements on the way, most of you will come and start talking rubbish. As if it is a joke we have been playing. Yes, as if it's a joke. Somebody like me, I think I joined IPOB in my prime age. Yeah, my prime age. And there are people also who have committed extensively. So, and that is what. So, image matters a lot. Image of a freedom fighter matters a lot. What he is in the open and the secret matters a lot. Very, very important. Very, very important. That is why in a freedom fighting, remember you are fighting for freedom of everyone. But the people always entrust leadership of freedom fighting to those who are disciplined. Who are disciplined. Because your leadership is your image. Your leadership is your image. When you flood yourself around with criminals, the world knows. People don't know. The world knows. That's why it is not, yes, some might have weaknesses, but those who have weakness should not be at the front burner of the movement. Because it's a serious movement. But most of you think it's something that just, if I want position, then I travel to, probably I travel to Sokoto on camera, praise Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then he will come and he will announce and say, Chika Austin is now the national coordinator. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because if that happened, I got that position through psychophancy. Yes. And I will never be committed to such position. But I got it through psychophancy. That's why those who are strong in character, should be projected in the image front line of this struggle. It's not issue of sentiment. It's not issue of sentiment. Yes, it's not issue of sentiment. Because if we do not, Ndi Igbo will rise against IPOB one day and force IPOB to shut down. You cannot be bigger than the people now. Is it not the people? If we do not take consciousness of this very fact. Do you know why some Igbos are still, seem to be undecided in the issue of this struggle? Is because there are some of members of YPOB, they are saying, they say, please, no, this thing only has sonime. It should be filled with men of integrity. This thing, this woman, soneme, no, this thing. If not, our people will rise and destroy. Don't say it's indestructible. These are some of the things the languages we use in deceiving ourselves. Nothing that cannot be destroyed. Nothing that cannot be destroyed. It was the same useless mantra we are singing that Mazi was untouchable. And he was just picked. Easily picked. In Kenya. Because we love foolish talks. We hate facing reality. We like pampering words. We want to be pampered. Oh, kweye bonaga eutem. And then? And what fucking what? What would take you? Who cares? It's better you be abreast with reality than illusion. Because kweye bonaga fumofu. Nonsense. These are nonsense languages. Let us hurt ourselves, comfort ourselves with reality, and tell ourselves nothing but the truth. Not this deception here and there. To stop. Yes. That IPOB is surviving today is not even because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu any longer. Because the question that is unanswered. Ke ihe kpojere gị n'anya ukwu na Ethiopia and Kenya. That unanswered question. That question that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had. Instead of him to answer it, let him destroy IPOB. You see, that very question is already in the minds of millions of our people. That very question. And that question needs not to be answered. Better not to be answered than answered. People are looking upon IPOB today because they believe certain people they are still seeing hanging around the movement or still in charge of the movement are noble men. Are noble men. Because most of you do not understand. You think it's something you can intimidate people to support the struggle. No, you can't. You can't. What we attract support, a strong support base, is your character. Is how you're doing things. It's not a corrupt people or not threatening people. When you threaten people, you force them to activate defense mechanism. From defense, they go offensive and destroy you. And they will destroy you and nothing will happen. And nothing will happen. The only thing that can remake the image of IPO is not trying to insult people when people are trying to question certain things. When people are trying to question the indestructible nature of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or trying to question the supremacy nature of him, or tries to question the infallibility nature of him that we projected. Don't threaten them. Don't insult them. Because it doesn't make sense. It is what the leadership of the movement is ready to chart a new course and confidence. That is the only thing that can rebuild confidence. You cannot rebuild confidence by threat, by insult. As a matter of fact, IPOB does not make the 100% of the population of the land. Take note of that. We do not make 100%. And the rest of the percent must be won through conviction. 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 You cannot create a picture that we are still doing Nigerian lifestyle. We are still running Nigerian political system in the Biafran struggle, and they expect people to have confidence in it. Are you mad? You don't understand. Or you cannot just flood yourself around with people whose office are in Mamankechi, Ofegusi, and the Teremanonap joint. And you want class men and women to identify. People don't understand the law of attraction. And I think let each and every one of us go and study it. The law of attraction. Even the most dirty person on earth wants to find himself in a good environment. Wants to associate with a clean person. That is how nature is designed. Yes. Even the most dirtiest person wants to get himself associated with a clean person. So if IPOB cannot radically, internally clean herself up with those who have the mentality that they can do anything they want to do and get away with it, then IPOB will watch herself being destroyed. So this is not a time for you to come and start talking rubbish. Talking rubbish. Leadership is accountability. Leadership is accountability. The problem Nigeria is failing is that leaders do not take account. See, Catholic Bishop visited Tinubu, and Tinubu, they were telling Tinubu what they were seeing on the street of Nigeria. Tinubu was telling them opposite. Do you see? Zero accountability, zero responsibility. He doesn't want to be accountable. He doesn't want to take responsibility. And the same way is also happening in what we are doing. Onyendu, what happened to the money of the struggle in Germany? Sack them for asking that question. Sack them. Okay, good and fine. Onyendu, Ethiopia. Then in one challenge in Ethiopia, people are return Europe, Gawa, Kenya. Oh, for you asking that question, you're fired, you're sacked. That is not leadership. That is not leadership. Onyendu biko, Simon and Ebane made the bad. He writes a letter. Nobody should respond to Simon Eba. That is not leadership. Come on. That is not leadership. That is absolutely not leadership. It's even worse than Nigerian own. At least Tinubu did not sack the bishops. He disagreed with them. He told them, hunger has been there before I was born. He told them, economy is going well. He didn't sack them. But how come about a highly Republican people? They ask you a question and they say, sack. And they get upset and get your position sacked and fired. And your minions are not activating emotional, he's inside, he's in detention. Wait, let him come. Oh, but he could sack from detention. But his position cannot be relinquished because he's in. What a contradiction. What a contradiction. Okay, because of our time, we're going to open our line. For those of us who would want to call, please, I will beg you to make your to make your contribution brief as much as you can. I beg of you. I'm going to put the number on the screen for those of you who would love to opinate on what we are saying. Remember, this program is to teach us, to make us understand reality of the time, to make us understand how the world functions, not to malign anybody. Take note of that. We are not malign anybody. We are not talking down on anyone, but we just want to let us understand how things work. Okay, you will see the PIN number there. That is the WhatsApp line for those of you who would want to call and make contributions. That is the WhatsApp line you're going to call on the screen there. Please be brief and also be moderate in your languages, because I know some of us might be angry, but anger holds us nothing. Meanwhile, it's also important we let you understand that the head of Directorate of State, Mazi Chika Edozen, will be addressing Biafrans today. And of course, we have a picture of what he's coming to address them on, which has to do with the template for full institutionalization of the movement. Yes, full institutionalization of the movement. Yes, the new oath, the constitution, and what have you. So that is going to be coming on by 7:30 Biafran time. Okay, we have the first caller. Are you there? Sorry, I have to keep you waiting.
Yes, Mazi, I'm here.
Okay, the platform is yours. Happy Sunday, happy new month, and happy new week.
Yes, happy Sunday and happy new month to you, Mazi Chika. And a good day, Biafrans. Great Ipob cause. Thank you, Mazi Austin. You are always bringing us back to the realities of this movement, the realities of life.
Mm-hmm.
When you go into social media over time, people are carried away with emotions. But when you come with your lecture, a lot of people get their mindset back. I want to comment on one of the things you said about the image of the movement. When we are in the university, those who have been in university know what is called Kegite Club.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it Palm Wine Club.
Yes.
This club was once a member. When you join, when you get in there, you see there are people from different confraternity, different courts belong there. But that Kegite Club on itself is a social movement.
Okay.
So one of the things that organization does that when the election comes, when there is time to elect the leaders, they never elect any person who is a member of any confraternity, is a member of any secret court. Because they want to protect the image of the Kegite Club. Because from our side, everybody sees Kegite as part of the court group.
Mm. In
order to make sure they protect that image, they make sure that if you're a member of any confraternity, you are not going to be elected as a leader. So the only people who are going to be leaders are people who are not members of any confraternity, but they're just members of Kegites.
Okay.
In that way, the image of the club is protected. Because, like you said, if you don't put people who have right characters, right image, they will be seen at the light of that movement, and that movement is going to die a natural death.
Exactly.
So the Ipob today, the DOS has taken a bold step to sanitize the movement. Yes, the Ipob started as a mass movement. Everybody is open for everybody to join. Mm-hmm. But along the line, you begin to do self-cleansing. So that self-cleansing is what is happening today, and a lot of people are being kicked out. People with questionable characters cannot be the face of the struggle.
Exactly.
So that is one. It's very, very important. So that people will know that and have peace. When things are happening, we should learn. Like Mazi and Kano, IPOB has set a record that has not been set in Nigeria, even in Africa, by holding their leader accountable, questioning him. When he refused to be answerable, that office becomes scrapped. That is exactly the type of government we want to be seen.
Exactly.
Like what happens in a lot of developed nations. The police can even go to the house of the president and search it. So we don't want we want a government that even the leaders will be questioned, leaders will be held accountable. Mm-hmm. They cannot become demigods. So Mazi Kano wants to be a demigod, and President IPOB said no. But sadly, people who are too emotional, who refuse to reason, are thinking that we are all attacking Mazi Kano. No, we are not attacking him. What we ask him, questions, he should come and answer questions. And when he refuses to answer questions, he wants to sack the DOS, to start afresh, to hire new people to start afresh, or probably to hand over the movement to the Nigerian government. And when you go to social media, you some staff will tell you, hey, if you don't like, go and start your own. As if we are working in the company of Mazi Kano. Somebody told me that if we don't like, we should start our own. I said, okay, if we are going to start our own, Mazi Kano and his family pay compensation to the deaths, millions, thousands of people that have died. Mm-hmm. There are some of us who have contributed a lot of money. We should give him bill. He should pay us. We'll walk away. If he cannot pay it, then he has no right to tell us we should go and start our own. Because we didn't come to restore Afaruku or Mazi Kano company. We came to restore Biafra. The same Biafra that Ujuku started and failed, it did not complete. Wazirike started, it didn't complete. Other people have started and he started. We are following the same. It is not, the Biafra will not stop and start and end with him. So people should overcome their emotions and know that even if today Biafra is restored, and assuming Mazi Kano was leading Biafra and Biafra was not restored, is he going to be a permanent leader? Is he going to hijack it like Museveni of Uganda? Is he going to hijack it like Zimbabwe? Because you restored you got a dependence, you should be there till you die in power. That's madness. So we have overcome that. We are now coming to restore a Biafra that we will be proud of. Our generation should be proud of. So the people who are going to be representing the image of the struggle must be people that without questionable character. Mm. People with livelihood, people with source of income, people you can trace. This is the business they do. This is the company where they work.
Very important.
So those who are career agitators should go and sit down. We want people who have something they are doing, not people who are dependent on the struggle to survive. So thank you, Mazi. And I believe that most of us would have learned our lesson. Going forward, we will not allow this kind of mess to continue. Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much, Mazi. I think we have another caller. Annie King tried calling, but I will get back to him. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Okay, good afternoon.
Thanks,
Chika.
Thanks so much, sir.
My name is Onyeka. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
You're welcome.
Thank you, as usual, for your ever enlightening program. And it's always well, very educative and straight to the point. So I thank you for that. Thanks, and I pray that you continue to find time to come and educate our people, because our people need to be guided at this point in our movement. Mm. See, you've said all that needs to be said, like in portraying the need for the movement to have a good image. I want to say much on that, but what I want to comment is also related to it in a way, especially within the background that the HOD, Mazi Chika, because is coming later today to kind of give direction on the making IPOB an institution which is long overdue, and which will need to be done for IPOB to be able to face current challenges or future challenges. What I'm saying so is that recently I was, reading some articles, some books relating to Biafran struggle, especially the one written by Frederick Forsyth, and also reading about the Ayara Declaration. And something struck me there in those documents and the book, in those two, the book and also the Ayara Declaration. And what struck me there is that the beauty of the way those books describe the character of our people. The character of our people being that our people are Republican. Let me give you an example, to buttress my point, really. You see, when Ojukwu became the governor of the old Eastern region after the January 6th coup, he did something very remarkable and what I would refer to as ingenious, in the sense that he's a military head of state. He could have ruled our people as a military head of state. But what did Ojukwu do? There are probably other governors, maybe Katsina in the north, and I don't know who was in the west at that time. Is that Ipob? I can't remember now. And somebody in the Midwest probably did not do. But we could recognize that our people are Republican in nature. And what did he do? He constituted an advisory council called the Council of Chiefs and Elders. Okay. And this group were made up of 10 people nominated from the 29 divisions in the Eastern in those days, making up about 290 people. Then he now brought, I think, about 45 people from professional bodies, like, maybe law bodies, medical bodies, other professionals, to make it up to about 300 and something. You understand?
Yeah.
So, this group also was made up of mainly non-Igbos, like, I think 165 of them were non-Igbo Biafrans, whereas only 169 were Biafran Igbos. This also, to me, also shows that he was trying to give a voice to the non-Igbos in the Biafran. You understand what I mean? So, what I'm painting the picture is that Ojukwu, as a leader, did not say, I will do it alone, I will dictate to the people.
Okay.
He formed, even though he's a military head of state, he formed an advisory body which he respected. And before he takes any decision, he consults these people before he makes any decision. You understand? And again, there was a particular part that I was reading in those books in my research. Whereas people were calling Ojukwu, when he's going out in the streets, people are hailing him, Ojukwu power, Ojukwu power, Ojukwu power. Well, how did Ojukwu respond to people calling him Ojukwu power? He said, no, I'm not the power. You, the people, are the power. I am Emeka. You see the mentality of our eternal leader.
Yes.
People are hailing him, but for him to take the glory, he said, no. You people are the power. I'm just a maker. That thing actually struck me. And that is what the way we should start looking at this our struggle. Individual is just an individual. The power actually belongs to the people. And that is where IPOB should be going to. You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand?
Yeah.
And this also was buttressed in that Ayara Declaration, where power we are given, sovereignty belongs to the people. Sovereignty should be to the people.
Yeah.
And I believe that is where IPOB is heading to now. Whereby we move from one individual having kind of dictatorship kind of arrangement.
Supreme posture.
Because one lording it against our people to collective leadership, where the leaders come together to bring out an idea. After all, they said 2 heads or 3 heads are better than one.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we are in the right direction, and that is why sometimes I find it difficult for people that kick against the institutionalization of IPOB. I can't understand where they're coming from. I can't even understand, are they in this planet at all, or what? Have they gone to look at our people to know the character and the nature of our people? That our people are Republican by nature. You understand?
Yeah.
And everything about us shows that we believe in collective leadership, we believe in the institution, and that is how we should progress.
Yeah.
I mean, do you understand what I'm trying to portray there?
Yeah, we
what
understand.
I'm trying to say in essence is that the leadership of this movement are moving the movement in the right direction to position the movement for current challenges and future challenges.
Exactly.
And I call on every IPOB members and Biafrans in general and people that support what we are doing to support this move and transition from individualized leadership to collective leadership, and of course collective responsibility, because leadership comes with responsibility. If you're a leader and you don't take responsibility, I don't see that as leadership.
Yeah.
So the greater your leadership power, the greater the responsibility that should be attached to it. So I'm going to summarize by saying that we should follow the good example that our eternal leader Ojukwu made when people were calling him Ojukwu power, and he said no. I am a maker. The people, you are the power. That is how I'm going to
Thanks so much.
My contribution.
Yeah. Thanks so much. That is, you had his contributions. We are born out of research, and that is an amazing thing for me to say about the list. I think I'm going to get time to read the other book he did mention to also have contribution. Okay. Mazi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead.
From here.
Go ahead.
How are you doing, sir?
Thanks so much. I'm good. And you?
Good. I'm following your program, and I want to appreciate your input and the way you continue to educate our people. Yeah. Just let me say something. Let me add to many things, many of your analysis. Yeah. Based on the institutionalization of IPOB and why it is important. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Greeting to all Biafrans and well-wishers, lovers of freedom. My name is Mazi and yeah. I want to say that after over a decade that we've been in this struggle, it's unfortunate that it took us this long to realize that there was a blueprint by the so-called who claim to be the owner of Biafra and the whatever, the new god of Biafra. He has a blueprint actually, but we, unfortunately, the followers and the leadership of this struggle that will be able to, join him to make sure that we create enough awareness to make sure that Biafrans know the need for this Biafra restoration. Do not aware. That blueprint was a business plan for himself, not a plan that will strategically
bring in the sovereignty of Biafra, but the plan that were put Biafra perpetually as a product of accumulating wealth for himself and his family. That is the plan. That is why in this situation now, he stick on that blueprint. He called it Code of Conduct. You understand? Going through that Code of Conduct, you know that it is just a business plan. And why is always preaching about that? Everywhere on Facebook, you just say that I feel behind the Code of Conduct, that Code of Conduct is absolute. It's just like the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, where they say we the people, the division of Nigeria is indivisible. My brother, the rules are made for people, not people for the rules. You understand? And a clear observation, you will see that all the shenanigans cannot be doing. There is no strategy to bring Biafra to the forefront. There is no strategy to bring Biafra to the forefront of whatever circumstances that has brought him into Nigeria. You understand? Or that he's suffering that he's being assassinated in Kuje or in Sokoto or whatever. There is no strategy that can has on the table to bring Biafra on the table of this discourse. And if you dare try to let him see the reason why we must strategically use that his assassination to bring Biafra as a discourse, as a priority. He doesn't want it. That is why, because he doesn't want, because he has a strategy, his blueprint is money, is a business. You understand? Not Biafra station. Not Biafra station. That is exactly what I observe. And I observe this thing very early as before the eventual sentencing of him to this life imprisonment. I have written many articles that I have asked from the Director of State dealers, what are the strategies this man trying to make with his assassination? What is his strategy? Can we do this? Because I don't see anything on the table like, okay, this is what we are fighting for. All we are seeing is Mazi is being assassinated and he want to be released. And for that, everybody have to die. Everybody, Biafran have to be set at place only for him to be released. And released and release for what? Release and come and start connecting again.
Okay, Mazi, you can start rounding off so that we can. Go ahead.
The only thing I can say is this. The institution is the only way forward. The institution is the only clarity that will give us what we want. You understand? Even if a letter is being under the custody or whatever, what we have to present is Biafra. You understand? It is when the Biafra become on the discourse table, then we can now talk about our people who are being detained. Mazi is just one of Biafran on detention. You understand? There are a lot of people like Benjamin Onwuka of Zionists is also in detention for Biafra. Nobody knows the prison is there. But why is Mazi we just want to come out and do what?
Okay, thanks so much.
We say that.
Thanks. Are you there, Mazi?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much. Let's also get other people so that we don't get time. Remember, Mazi, Chika Edozian will be on air this evening, so it's important we do all we can do to round off as much as we can. So we also have one or few persons to also listen to their view. Go ahead. Are you there?
Yes, Mazi, what you doing? It's really blessed.
He said, you're welcome.
I'm coming out. There is no sound. Hello?
Yeah, we are listening. We are all listening. Don't be listening to your gadgets.
Okay. Mazi, from what you just said and what you have been saying in this struggle, you know, many people say that and in the whole of this beginning of IPOB struggle and request for Biafran restoration, well, there is one thing we know, and that thing is for sure that presently now the world is looking at us. Despite that they might be silent, but I want to tell you that every international community, every global body, nations and the rest of them, they are really observing what we are doing. And that is why we must conduct ourselves in the best manner. And I thank you, him, that the leaders have done that. And still record down to what you talk about as a PR, being able to present yourself in a very, well accepted, at least in the context of global laws and all of those things. So I think you have said it all, and I would want to wriggle it down that it is not too good to get some certain things in life for free, especially those things that is expensive, that beyond
Are you still there? I think the background of probably your gadget is interfering.
Yeah. Am I still coming out?
We are having a whole lot of interjections from his gadget. So let us see what we can do. Probably get back to him. Okay, we still have someone else to get online, probably from US or Canada. Okay, Mazi, are you there?
Yes, Maz, good afternoon.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I said Mazi. Okay, you're highly welcome, Wada.
Thank you.
Sorry for wrong gender description. Yeah.
Maz, I think it's my voice that's making me sound like I'm a woman. Actually, I'm not a woman, I'm
a man. Okay. You have a feminine voice. It's all right. The platform is yours. Happy Sunday and happy new month.
Thank you. I'm very happy about your program today. And I just wanted to add 2 cents. You understand? Because we can never know it all, but as we contribute and say our opinion, and if it makes sense, we will now add it to what we have. Okay, this is it. When I was in media, as a principal officer in the local government in Biafran, I found out one of the problems we are having. And that problem is we are allergic to researches as a people. We want to use the limited knowledge or whatever small local research we did because it's local, because we just want to hear from that one man that is in the newspaper stand telling you that that the plane is flying and they intercept it. That is the kind of story they want to be hearing. Understand? And the ones that also hear some kind of, let me say, a little above those ones, we just use it and confirm that is fine, and without even analyzing from different perspectives. So then there was a time one of the things that people don't understand is that everything we are doing in this struggle, we are very, very conscious of time and timing. very, very important. Time and timing. Because the time where the leadership and we saw that it's very, very necessary to start interlinking what we are doing with geopolitics. So when we started the geopolitical campaign, because I understand when we were trying to tell people the importance of us imbibing international politics. Because whatever happens to Mr. A in Singapore, the same will make for them. We also affect if we don't understand how they were able to survive this aspect. So I went to a particular zone. I started educating them on the need for us to embrace geopolitics. I started telling them, educating them on how it's going to help us. You understand, to know how the global politics was, because you are not disconnected from the rest of the world.
Of course,
you want to live in your simulation. So I found out that they were still looking at as if I'm speaking French. I say, wow, we have a lot of work here. One thing about us is we love. When we start our campaign, we love consistency, because that consistency is what we start, trying to, when they say that our people are Republican nation, sometimes I say yes, but that Republican nation is also, let me just say, it's more problem solved, because the part of Republican we are, anything that is within my own thought is what I'm going to use and say I'm Republican. Sometimes I don't want to go outside that Republicanism in a way that needs to advance their knowledge. You understand, man?
Yeah.
So what am I trying to say? Another thing I'm trying to say is that our former leader, which is the Mazi, we must also take responsibility for making him Lord over us. We will not escape that part, as we will also have a blame for it. Because when it comes to the radio and say, I have the power to decide who lives and who does whatever, that kind of a thing, and we don't immediately try to, caution or try to say, our leader, this place where you can go. Even though some people entirely, maybe in private, we tell him that they are not in support of what you just said here. But generally, there are some of us that don't even understand at that time what those words mean and the consequences of those words. And now I'm beginning to realize the mess those statements have gotten us into. And since I discovered that, I'm also doing my best to making sure that I call a lot of persons around me that are being influenced in the way I think, or the information I need today, you understand? So as much as you now use those enlightenments you get and also teach other people, they will also get right, because some people depend on you to get right information, and you must not disappoint them. You understand, man? Yeah. So this is where we are now going.
Yeah, you can round up.
Where we are now going. Okay, let me round up. Today, this broadcast, Mazi, Chika, is going to say where we unveil our new code and narrations and the teaser of our constitution. What our people don't understand is, in as much we are going to get this, it is being released to us for review. We are also going to review it as a people. Maybe, even though they have protected some test files, they analyze it many times, but being released to us generally now is also going to undergo reviews. If they say, okay, this one will not work, then they will be here, they will be listening to hear the reactions of people over what they are going to, say today. You understand? That is how proper leadership goes. You listen to the people you are trying to, lead into the right track. And with that, we say, yes, we have stand on the right track. Thank you, That's what I wanted to
Thanks so much. That is a wonderful submission. And like he rightly pointed out, all these things are geared towards... People do not understand that the Biafra we are talking about, the demo of what we're expecting to have starts in IPOB. How IPOB is configured, how IPOB responds to issues, is tantamount to what you're going to see, to reflect. Okay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, the platform is yours.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And bless you for the good job you're doing for our people, Biafran people. And I thank the leadership for their wonderful work. Maz, thank you for the topic of today. We are looking at self-determination and the image laundering. And I will say, let me start from why do we have to wonder, why are we talking about image laundering under self-determination? And to my own personal opinion, image laundering comes here because of contradiction, internal contradiction or conflict in ideology. I would say that IPOB as an organization have a group philosophy which technically aims on alleviating the plight or the welfare of Biafran people.
You're quite correct.
And whosoever that find himself or herself in the space of leadership, in terms of implementation or in effort to, in his leadership, I would say
capacity.
I'm trying to bring in something like anybody that becomes the leader of Ipob as an organization with a particular ideology must, in all form and shape, reflect or adapt to this very philosophy of the people and not his personal ideology. Whenever any leader in Ipob or in organizations such as an Ipob try to interpret things in a way to favor his personal opinion or his group opinion, automatically the institutional ideology will flush out the person or the group. And this is exactly what happens to the past administration of IPOB under the leadership of Mazi. Because when they start doing things that are totally contradictory to what they have or what IPOB is known for, all their steps become something questionable, both from the locals, the Biafrans and the world, and the both who are watching the IPOB organization from international community. So my point is, whosoever, today we are talking about institutionalization of IPOB, and the only factor that will ensure that this institutionalization achieve the aim is only if the leaders work in total obedience to this very philosophy of, to this very group philosophy, which is aimed to free the people. Just like one of our brothers, when he was talking, he talked about how when our internal leader works on the group, on the street of Biafra, people will call him power. But he will reject that accolade and say that the people are the power. This is what the true leadership of Ipob, they will see, they will realize, they must have to recognize that the power belongs to the people. And in order to reflect this, they will only abide to this public or group philosophy, which is what? Which leaders or which ignores nobody but works or carries everybody along, because this is a public organization with idea to do what? To alleviate the welfare of our people. This is where I'm gonna stop. Thank you.
Before you go, I would love to share a little opinion before you go as well, in line with what you said. When a leader upholds a group philosophy or ideology, anytime you start seeing contradiction, it's as a result of internal rupture.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu preached extensively in one of his broadcasts. He said, any day we start shedding our own blood, that day Biafra will not come.
Exactly.
Same him also prayed that ESN is to protect the lives and the land of Biafra. And that was why our people gave their money in support of ESN. But because when he misstepped, he went places he ought not to have been, as a result of what some people in another school of thought might describe as personal life theory, the personal life theory, he now decided to start supporting those things ordinarily in his normal setting he wouldn't have. For instance, when the autopilots were even killing our people, he was secretly supporting EPA because he felt that EPA was going to cook the pressure that would make him come out. So at that very point in time, it was all about him at the detriment of the comfort of people he wants to protect and preserve. So that is why leaders should be careful, because it's not all about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even those in current leadership should understand that immediately you misstep, immediately you allow indiscipline to entrench, the life of contradiction will naturally be there. Except you're humble enough. In a Western countries, instead of them to play the defensive card that destroy things further, what they do honorably, they resign, isn't it?
You're right.
Good. So, in line with what you say, is as a result of internal rupture. When a leader starts rupturing internally, instead of him to toe the path of honorability, which is self-resignation, you start seeing him contradicting everything he swore and earlier defended. Ndewo. Thanks so much. Okay, that is really a scholarly submission from our brother. You might not understand how lovely that was, that his submission. The essence of us teaching ourselves all these things for us to understand the dynamics of life. The dynamics of life. Because if we do not understand, most of us think you're going to start feeling Biafra when the country is restored. No. We should have a sense, a feeling of it, a feeling of what we are going to see. Even in IPOB, the quality of leadership, the humility in leadership, the discipline in leadership that we envisaged, the structural discipline. I mean, the consciousness of being accountable to the people. That all of us believe that we're going to have just a mini heaven in Biafra should be reflected while we're in the struggle. If you have a struggle where idiots are dominating the mainstream spaces, believe you me, even if that country is restored today, it is going to be run by idiots. It's definitely going to be run by idiots. There's nothing you can do about it. So that is why we will do everything within our own power. It is our responsibility. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility to present the right image. In as much as you're somebody, people know you talk about self-determination for Biafran people, you should try as much as you can to portray her in a positive light. Because sometimes we tend to be harsh on our people who are not in conformity with us when it comes to the Biafran struggle. We seem to be harsh, but the truth remains. Some things we do at collective and individual level is even inimical to have somebody to say, okay, let me subscribe to his ideology. Very, very important. Very, very important. Some of our politicians, mainstream politicians or politicians of our extractions, sometimes we blame them, we abuse them, we cause them that they are saboteurs, they are all this. But certain things they have seen at the private level to people we see as leaders or people who project and represent this struggle. Certain things the politicians know about them. It's so discouraging. And that's why I see some of these politicians, they will boldly come and start telling you, listen, that this is fraud. It's based on certain information. So we have to recreate. Very, very important. We have to re-engineer the image of this struggle. Welcome. Are you there, Mazi?
Mazi.
Are you there?
Yeah, Mazi.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy New Month.
Happy brother. Yeah, I'm there, Mazi.
Yes, I'm listening to you. Just forget your own gadget. Pay attention to the one you use in calling.
I'm just. What did you say?
Pay attention to the phone you're using in calling, the WhatsApp. Forget the one you're using to listen, because there will be delay in delivery. Pay attention to this one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just coming online and just calling you right now. I just want to speak regarding to the topic you just showed on your program. So, you know, this Biafra restoration we are pushing. There's you know, since I started listening to Radio Biafra, and once a month now we can't keep telling us every time that if we did not change our way, the way we do things, you know, the Biafra will not come.
Yeah.
And there's some things, you know, Mazinamka taught us on Radio Biafra, be selfless, you know. But if we are not selfless in our pursuit to Biafra, that Biafra will not come. And when you look at him now, and most of the things he taught us in this movement, almost everything he has or he's doing right now is opposite. One name they can't know why that he has sabotaged this movement. He has done a lot of evil as regards to this movement based on who we thought he was at the beginning of this movement. Do you understand? Most of the things he says, he's not doing them right now as I'm speaking to you. Do you understand? Imagine know where that he has wronged the people of Biafran. So now, for him to have shown us that this is who I am, I have to do what I preach as regards to Biafra restoration. He would have honorably resigned. He would have honorably among Ipob people.
Don't know why your network. So sorry. Your network seems to.
All Mazi is doing is fighting the movement, dragging power. These are the same thing they preach against. These are the same thing our politicians are doing in Biafra land. Because everybody is just fighting for power, not for the welfare of the people. Because if you continue this way, then tell me now, how are we going to achieve that nation we're all fighting for? How can we do that? It's not possible. We cannot achieve the nation we are desiring to get with this kind of attitude. Do you understand? Because if you're telling me now we're doing the right thing, all mathematical is his siblings are after is to just to control the affairs of the Ipob desperately, whether it's good, whether it's bad, or they want to be in charge of Ipob simple. Because they are not fighting for the welfare, or to ensure that we get that nation with all desire to have when God wants it. Do you understand? Yeah. That is not what they are pursuing. The right thing Martin Anderson would have done is the moment he knew he's messed up, he would have resigned honorably. And said, okay, I know I've erred and regard to this movement, but let me just hand over this movement to the right people, let them continue. And it becomes a stakeholder in the movement. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is we see the same thing Mazi now preach against our politicians. That is the same thing he's doing. So now, as a result of this present situation, now we find ourselves. So who's going to pay the cut now? What if tomorrow now, this leadership, even this DOS now, we're all collaborating. What if tomorrow they change the date? So in this now, this is just a kind of a pandemic that is fighting the African leaders.
Well, the issue of that is that...
You understand? According to the pandemic, when it comes to African leadership, it's a pandemic. Because this is not the time we've been following for almost more than a decade, you understand? And still, this young man changed.
Well, the honest truth is that let us understand when we talk about institutionalization, we are not talking about power concentration on individual. You have to understand it from that perspective. When IPOB is talking transition to institutionalization, we are talking about transition from individualization to institutionalization. And the essence of that is to mitigate reputation of what happened. So an individual can crash if he so desire to crash, but an institution cannot crash. Take note of that. So I want to thank you for your opinion. We will get others on board as well as we are winning down to the time of closure. There. I don't think he got me. Okay, that is wonderful contribution for our brother. And we must understand, because it's important we understand when the issue of, institutionalization is talked about. Okay. I believe your network should be more stable now. I believe your network should be more stable now.
I'm sorry for what happened.
It's fine. I quite understood.
I tried to put off everything so I can talk. I went my own again. So, Mazi,
okay.
Based on what I was saying, image, project and how important it is. Even me myself, because I wanted to say it, I go down to myself in the place where I do business. If not for how they see me, it's almost 20-something years in that business. This is not how they see me. I think most of the credit facilities which I can get anytime it occurs. I will not be able to be doing that. And when you come to the global stage, it is very, very important that we put ourselves in a very decent manner, because in as much we call it freedom fighting, doesn't mean that freedom fighting doesn't mean that it is free. We still need to put on stronger, and this is very stronger in our own case. It's not just the Nigerian state that we are passing, and even to see our feet. Our people are more of a problem, because you carry them along without it. You might even get external organized, which is what the state is trying to leverage on or take advantage of. Because if you find out all what has been going around all social media for the past years now, despite that the leadership has been doing what they are doing, but we, the people that matters, because it's very struggle to get to where we expect it to be. You need the people to understand and also move in that same like-minded direction. Because internally, if we achieve whatever we are doing to get the applies to the world, then if, let's say, for instance, a referendum is not called, how do you get your people that is in the government, your people that is in diaspora, even your local, despite that we might think that yes, Biafra is in the heart of every woman. That doesn't mean that we should just go about doing anything we want. We should be able to tell them, even I believe that right now that this very struggle has moved from the position which it was in the past, which is more of motivation. If you go into the ring with most of all these boxers, you see that there is coach that gives you tactical, skills. And then I could that still give you motivational, and I think in the past we have been motivated, on how to go about seeking the truth, studying the world, what is happening. But presently now, it is now a time to be more constructively mature, because we need everyone. Those are the people that in the past that we see as, being a slave for all of those things. We should also look at it, how have we been able to present this very struggle to them? Because we just talked about our people that is in high places in the government of the world. How have we been, making this struggle more attractive, even to the same world, because even the world will not just go to you because you need a referendum or you need a listing. The way you go about this is what will convince them. So, man, if I continue, I will just spend the whole day. I think presently now, it's time to be more, constructive in everything we are doing. Exactly. Diplomatic, our even approach on the social media. So I think another thing is that, as we are growing, there are people that will be left behind. There are people that will be dropped off. And that is what is happening. Most of all this exploits on the road, it is our part of it. And there are people that will let us go away for better things to come in. So, man, I thank Elohim for where we are, and also thanking you people for being strong, because without most of us that is in this very, space, our people wouldn't have known. Even myself, there was when we were scavenging for information on what we to follow. But I thank Elohim for making me to understand, to be still, because I've developed that very attitude in time past. I must play calm and understand what is happening. With time, everything will play out.
Yeah.
So, may Elohim bless you.
Thanks so much. That is a wonderful contribution. Okay, we'll go straight to you. Good evening from here.
Good evening, Mazi.
Thanks so much.
Good evening,
The platform is yours.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. It's still me, Chris Ojekalo from Paris.
Oh, welcome.
Mazi Chika, thank you very much for this knowledge. You keep impacting on us. I want to appreciate you for that.
Thanks so much.
What you are doing is not easy, Mazi Chika. I appreciate. And I want to contribute a little bit concerning today's program. Because in our place, I said that, okay, you're not
okay.
What happened to us with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? To me, it was deliberate from the powers that be. They manipulated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he himself caused out of it. Very cheap and very easy. Like what you keep talking about PR, image making. First of all, we can even agree or disagree that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's image, first of all, was being made globally, and he was accepted by our people because we believed that he was honest and genuine. And the day we are very successful because the IPOP struggle led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was more of individualization. So because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was because he was the image of IPOP movement, they were able to work on his psyche, making him to believe that he is God. And they tricked him easily for him to start acting as if he knows it all. And he started seeing his comrades as his enemy. The comrades I want to use in this analysis is the DOS. Those working with him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they were able to manipulate him, making him to believe that the DOS are his enemy. Even making him to believe that his own wife is his own enemy. They even go further to know that his weaker point is with his siblings, knowing full well that this man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and his siblings, they are people with questionable character. So what happened? They used him, they used his place, and they made sure they separated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the DOS. That's the structure. That is the institution. So, going by this, you can also agree that the federal government of Nigeria and their supporters knew, and they still know, that the most important aspect of this struggle is the institution. That is the DOS. As soon as this struggle is institutionalized, they know that the battle, they have lost the battle. So what did they do? They keep on using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as an individual. That is number one, to fight and they destroy the institution, which is the DOS. Just say for example, during time on EPA, people, or you can agree with me that even somebody like Obasanjo, OBJ was heading time on EPA, promoting him to be this very strong, promoting him to be this very wise, promoting him to be this very brutal, more than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So they were at the same time projecting time on EPA because they were going somewhere. They were going somewhere to destroy the image of peaceful agitation of Ipob. Mazi, I'm not saying all these things today because even we, somebody like me, who knew nothing about global politics, following Ipob, following the whole teachings from you, from other comrades, today, we are like guru. Even before somebody say, hey, we all know where that person is going to. So nobody today can tell me that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was unaware of all these antics. He knew very well. And the federal government, the British, those that were manipulating him, they knew very well. And he fall short. And very easy.
They were.
So today, Mazi, I can tell you that Ipob, we are good to go.
Thanks so much.
As soon as Mazi Chika finished his broadcast today, I believe and I'm convinced that Ipob will have a new face that will take us far and to our destination. Thank you, Mazi. Keep on doing your good work. I am satisfied.
Thanks
I am
so
happy.
much.
And I am much, much proud of you, Mazi. Thank you, and bye-bye from here.
They were. I frankly and honestly appreciate. So we get to the last caller for the day. We want to get to him. He has been calling and calling and calling. So let's see how to get across to him. Very, very important. Mazi Chika will be addressing us today on a new template for the struggle. And the time is 7:30 Biafran. 7:30 p.m. Biafran time. Take note of that. It's going to be a historic directive broadcast. And we are going to be there. And after that, I and Mazi Patrick Iken will be making a commentary, a post-broadcast commentary on Biafran TV this evening to, break down bullet points he raised. We are going to be discussing that. I am Mazi Patrick Iken, so that we can simplify everything for our people to understand. So in absence of him picking up, I sincerely appreciate your time, your courage. Do not forget, you are the image of this movement we are seeing. I am the image of this movement I'm seeing. So how we live our lives, how we relate to humanity matters a lot. As a people who are asking for a better society than what horrible Nigerian state is. So the nobody can market or demarket IPOB's image than you and I. So let us have that as a responsibility. Let us have that at the back of our mind, that the image of this movement lies in us to market. Okay, Mazi, are you there? Good evening from my location. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm Honorable.
Honorable, you're high.
Discussed active.
Honorable, can you hear me? I say, Honorable, you're highly welcome.
Thank you. And I want to appreciate you and every other one that has contributed. I want to also thank every other person that is doing media work. It's not easy. Ordinarily for people showing their face on media, talking about Biafra, after all that has happened this year. Without wasting much time, I want to say that if you are standing with IPOB led by Chika, I want to say that you are in the right track, that you should stand strong. Continue supporting in any way you can. I mean financial, because you can see it's like we started from the scratch. If by the grace of God we cover our fund, that means we go along. But now there's need for financial support. I want to thank you all. So then from here, we are not going back for supporting the leadership.
Thanks so much.
Our main person, Oda Keke, is still a strong man also. He's not giving them any space here. And I want to also tell every other country to stand strong like that. No going back. If we leave this thing and then maybe let's leave the leadership to face it alone. If they keep dealing with the leadership, they may come back to us ordinary people anyway. Be in one land here, and they will start troubling us in one way or the other. So we need to stand strong. Nnamdi Kanu should remain where he is, and everybody talking about his freedom. It's okay. I don't say don't talk about his freedom, but we should focus more on Biafra. Anywhere you are, be supportive. May too that is in Austria, chasing the preachers of the gospel of Christ. Maybe that is not the way. You cannot be able to chase Christians out of Biafra and they want to restore Biafra. You have to bring everybody together first. At the end of the day, we know the right place to follow. But normally your job. Then, if you want to continue
bishops, honorable bishops met Tinubu, and since they came up saying what they saw, Tinubu presidency have been attacking the bishops. You get what I'm saying? And the same Tinubu's presidency will be asking the Catholic faithfuls to cast their votes for him. Isn't that contradiction? The same way is to the young man you called the Methuselah. He always want to attack the Biafran Christians. The same him also wants the same people to support where he is. He's just like Tinubu, who would attack the bishops and want the followers of the bishop to give him their vote. It's really funny. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Austin. I appreciate all of your work. To be honest, it is very, very. Thank you, and God bless. Keep it on, sir. Bye.
Thanks so much. Okay, we are going to come to the end of today's program. We'll be preparing seriously for Mazi Chika Dibiedozium's broadcast coming on in, I think, about 3 hours to come now. Let us keep faith as we go. I really want to appreciate you. Thanks, and have a lovely